But what do I know? I'm just a foreigner. Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. My name is Alex. It's Saturday and I'm still putting in the work. If you appreciate the hustle, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. In this video, I'll tell you about a wanted Australian man arrested 7 years later while on a Canadian tourist visa. 2,000 Philippines National Police members raid the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound to arrest Pastor Kubaloy. One person perishes from a heart attack during that raid. Court ruling in Indonesia for tainted cough syrup. Extreme weather all over Asia, plus much more. Let's jump into our main story. In Bangkok, Thailand, immigration police investigators through international cooperation arrested Mr. Bradshaw, who was once an Australian suspect and had fled Thailand 7 years ago when he reappeared in Bangkok as a Canadian tourist. Investigators were informed by an informant about a foreign national with an outstanding arrest warrant staying in the Siloam area in Bangkok. Upon investigation, they found a foreign national matching the description of a wanted person, Mr. Bradshaw, 39 years old, a Canadian citizen who had been granted a tourist visa exemption. On August 24th, the police arrested him. He confessed to being the same person wanted in the 2017 arrest warrant and stated that he had never been arrested for this case before. In 2017, custom officers at Suvarnabhumi Airport inspected Bradshaw's luggage, then an Australian citizen. As he was pushing his bag through the nothing to declare channel, they found more than 20 Apple iPhones, which he claimed he intended to resell for profit. He was accused of custom evasion, which means the act of importing and exporting goods without paying duties, bringing in controlled imports, or moving goods in or out of Thailand without properly going through the custom procedures. Anyone who violates these laws will face maximum penalties. The smuggled goods will be confiscated and the offender will be fined 4 times the value of the goods, including taxes, or imprisoned for up to 10 years, or both, fined and imprisoned. At the time, officers charged him and handed him over to Suvarnabhumi Airport Police Station for prosecution. However, while the case is still in court, Mr. Bradshaw left the country. 7 years later, he returned to Thailand and was finally arrested. This time, officers informed him his rights upon arrest. God forbid somebody tries to make a few extra bucks without the government being involved. But that being aside, first of all, why would you take such a risk for just 20 iPhones? It's not like you found these iPhones, they're going to make $20,000 from it. You obviously bought them at a certain price, so at a discounted rate. And how much money can you possibly make off of 20 iPhones? Let's say $100 each, $2,000. Is it really worth your sanity and always looking over your shoulder for a couple $1,000 basically profit, and you're flying in and out? How much was a plane ticket, bro? Like, come on, man. What are you guys doing? If you're gonna commit a crime, make sure it's worth it. I'm kidding. But all jokes aside, I'm surprised 7 years later they were able to arrest this guy. I mean, I don't want to say shit about the Thai police or government or whatever, but I feel like really for 20 iPhones, you guys waited 7 years and was still able to do all this, multiple countries involved and all that, to arrest a guy that evaded basically duties, essentially, right? It's not like he stole the phones. He still bought them. He put in the work. He negotiated a price, I'm sure, and he still went through. I don't know, man. It's kind of a weird thing, you know. So much other nonsense going on in Thailand. I feel like they should probably, allocate some of those resources to those. But what do I know? I'm just a foreigner. Next up, an update on Alice Guo. So apparently she's heading to the Golden Triangle. Alice Guo, who is accused of illegal gambling in the Philippines, is not expected to go to China because she's a person of interest there due to country's strict anti-gambling laws. According to Winston Casio, spokesperson for the Presidential Anti-Organization Crime in the Philippines, Guo is likely going to enter Golden Triangle, a region in Southeast Asia known for transitional crime. Guo's family has business interests in Cambodia, making a possible destination for her despite her being reportedly still in Indonesia. Guo has traveled through several Southeast Asian countries, including Malaysia and Singapore. The situation is complicated by ongoing conflict in the Golden Triangle region, making it difficult to arrest her if she reaches there. Guo faces charges related to illegal activities at the Philippine offshore gaming operators. Actually, speaking of Cambodia, there's a lot of casinos now in Cambodia as well, and China has invested heavily in the past decade, although recently they've kind of dispersed from Cambodia too. So I don't know what that has to do with anything with this specific case, but I mean, just from an outside perspective, overview, kind of would make sense why she would try to aim for Cambodia. And then about 2,000 policemen stormed the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Davao City on Saturday morning in a bid to serve the arrest warrant against fugitive pastor Apollo Kubaloy. The Philippine National Police officers launched a large-scale operation at the KOJC compound in Davao City early Saturday morning. The cops entered the KOJC compound at 5:27 a.m. and started to search for the leader. The PNP director explained that 2 warrants of arrest had been issued against Kubaloy along with his accomplices. For each warrant, there are 5 co-accused. Davao City police officer spokesperson assured that the search of the KOJC compound, which spans 42 buildings, will be thorough while minimizing the risk of harm. Corbeloy is in the Federal Bureau of Investigation most wanted list for allegedly orchestrating trafficking operation. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. previously asked the pastor to surface and follow the law instead of questioning the motive of people's offering a 10 million peso reward for his arrest. The KOJC founder hails from Davao and is also a close ally of former president and Davao City Mayor Rodrigo Duterte. Some insane scenes. 2,000 police officers entering a compound in search of this person. I get they don't want to fail like last time, but 2,000 police officers to issue a warrant seemed like a lot to me, you know, but once again, I guess it is 42 buildings. They do want to be thorough, but I hope they catch this dude this time, or at least be able to serve him the arrest warrant, because he's accused of some serious crimes. I guess there's a few high-profile cases of missing people in the Philippines at the moment. In a related news, a member of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ reportedly passed away while 4 others were rushed to the hospital after suffering heart attacks during the police raid of Pastor Apollo Corbeloy and his co-accused. 4 heart attacks, I don't know what that's from. Maybe just being scared of police rushing in, or just people acting like they had heart attack to hopefully discourage the police. Yeah, we'll wait to see what happens with that. In some quick news, a court in Indonesia has ordered 2 companies to pay thousands of dollars in compensation to families of more than 200 children who were perished or injured by tainted cough syrup. That's one thing I can't stand, you know, being a regular Joe Blow going up against like pharmaceutical corporations. The way they structure the business, you can never really take the individual down, like the CEO or someone being liable for some of the harm they cause civilians, right? So the way it's structured, it's a business. I guess you can't really, all they do is basically pay a fine, and they get away with it all the time. Moving on to Thailand, a French man was robbed by a transgender individual in Pattaya, Sang Tao, which is like a jeepney. A French man in Pattaya reportedly being robbed by a transgender individual who slashed his bag and stole his mobile phone before fleeing. Pascal Gaston Pierre Francais, a 71-year-old French national, filed a complaint. He recounted that while riding a Sang Tao from Soi Buakhao to Soi 6, someone had secretly slashed his bag and stolen his belongings. Francais detailed that during the ride of the Sang Tao, a transgender individual was also a passenger. Upon arriving at Soi 6 and disembarking, he discovered his bag had been slashed with a knife and a Samsung Galaxy A34 mobile phone was missing. He immediately reported the incident to the police. According to the victim's girlfriend, who requested to remain anonymous, Francis had been playing pool at a bar in Soi Buakhao before heading back to their accommodation. They took a Sang Tao. But if you're ever traveling abroad and you have one of those backpacks, a little whatever, what do you call that? The fanny pack, I guess. Yeah, just because it's locked doesn't mean you don't have to watch it anymore. These people are getting so like clever. They have small scissors or knives and they'll cut it open and snatch your stuff. So just be careful with that. And speaking of like Thailand and Chiang Mai region and in Phuket region, heavy rains and flooding has taken away the lives of several people. It's getting really bad when it comes to raining a lot in that region. Also in India and Bangladesh as well. A lot of people losing their lives in these like horrible extreme weather conditions. My prayers goes out to them. And now it's time for our segment Yesterday Today, where we read some of the most popular comments, one being disgusted or disguised. Thank you to Despicable P, who's corrected my spelling. I misspelled that word in the title. Thank you so much. And by misspelled, I mean I chose the wrong autocorrect word probably. G.I. Joe King says less redundancy and less reliability on the smaller planes. This is based on that crash. And Living B450 says increased pregnancy in 10 to 14-year-olds. Where I come from is called grape, and they are victims. Whoever impregnated them needs to be held accountable. Yeah, definitely, especially if it's not teenager boys or whatever, if it's grown-ass people. I 100% agree. And that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, take a quick second out of your day. It's completely free, but really motivates me to make these videos. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video, and enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys tomorrow probably. Bye.